Okay, we are live.
Mm.
Let me share my screen. Okay, is it visible?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our today's lead course POTD is we have been given a matrix M cross N, so we need to find number of positions I comma j such that value at matrix I comma j is equal to 1 and all other elements in a row and columns are 0. And let me explain it to you guys. For example, we have been given this matrix and there we need to find position I comma j such that matrix I comma j has a value of 1 and all other elements in a rows and columns are 0. For example, in this matrix there is only one such position, which is this one 1 comma 2, where all the elements in the rows are 0 and all the elements in the columns are 0 except the I comma j element, and that is equal to 1. So how we can proceed to this problem is, first of all, we can just store our size of our rows and columns, and then we can just store the right sum and right sum and column sum into a vector. We can just initialize the counter variable and then we can just iterate our matrix. And we can also store our right sum and column sum into an variables into our vectors. And then we can check if our matrix ij is equal to 1 and our r sum is equal to 1 and our c sum j equal to 1, then we can increase our counter variables value. After that we can return our counter. So let's try running it. Let's try submitting it. So yeah guys, it got submitted. Okay, so now to you Sangam.
Yeah. So, guys, the question that we have been asked today's GFG PODT is that there is a number that is given to us. So, as you can see, the number that is given to us here is 3, and we have to create the binary string of size 3, as you can see here, but the condition is that there should be no two consecutive ones. So as you can see in all of these five strings that are given to us, all have 000, that is there are no consecutive one in this case. The same goes for the second string. Here is 001, then is 010, then is 100, and the last one is 101. So there is no consecutive strings like something like 111. There is no consecutive strings like that. Either it can be 010, or either it can be 101. There should not be no consecutive ones in our string. So that is what they are asking us. So let's just see how this thing is going to be panned out. Let's say this is our n. Okay, now if the value of n is 1, there can be two possible strings such like that we can create. It will be 0 and 1. Now let's say if n is equals to 2, the strings can be 0 0, it can be 1 0, or it can be 0 1. 1 1 can be possible, but here as two consecutive ones are associating, so we can't take this. Now if the size of the string is 3, then it would be 0 0 0, it will be 0 0 1, then it will be 0 1 0, then it will be 1 0 0, then it will be 1 1 0, it can be 1 0 1, it then can be 0 1 1. So as you can see right now it has, oh, there should be one more. Yeah, so let's just see here. Yeah, so this cannot be included here. Okay, so the total of how many things we are getting in this case is 5. Yeah, and in this case we are getting here is 3. In this case we are getting here is 2. And now if we draw the strings that we can get from the number 4, it will be 0 0 0, it will be 0 0 0 1. Then for this one it will be 0 0 1 0, then it will be 1 0 0 0, then it will be 1 0 0 1, then it can be 1 0 1 0, it can be 0 1 0 1, or it can be 0 1 0 0. So as you can see, the number of strings that we are getting in this case is what, 8. Now, guys, just note down a pattern that is forming in this case. So you see, for the string 1, the number of strings were 2. For the string 2, the number of strings were 3. But from the strings moving forward, that is from the string length of 3, what we are getting is 2 plus 3, which is equals to 5. And that is what we are getting here. Then same goes for 8. Here we are taking the value of 5, we are adding it with the value of 3, and we are getting it the value as 8. So as you can see, there is a pattern that is forming here, such that if we take two variables, let's say a is equals to the number of things that we can get from the first, so it will be 2. Let b be a variable which will store the number of strings we can get when we take n is equals to 2, so here it is 3. And for the rest of the strings, for the rest of the numbers, what we have to do is just add them. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. And then after that, if you want to conclude for the string 4, what we have to do is we just have to upgrade these values. So after this step, a will become our 5, or 3, b will become our 5. And so if we call for the string 4, it would be just an addition of these two elements. So it will be 3 plus 5, which will be equal to 8. Then after that, this will become our a, and this will become our b. So this is the pattern that we are forming in this case. Initially what we have done is we have taken a string length till 4. Okay, that is what we have done. We have taken an integer which varies from value 1 to 4. Now if you observe carefully, for a length of 1, there are two such kind of binary strings that we can form. So therefore the number is 2. Now for the string length, or n is equals to 2, there are three kinds of strings, binary strings, we can form according to the condition. So the answer is 3. Now if the n is 3, then there are about 5 types of strings we can form with respect to this condition. And if the n is 4, then the number of strings that we can create would be 8 with respect to the condition. Same goes for 5. If I try the pattern for 5, whatever the pattern would be, the answer would be 13. Now the pattern that is forming here is the first value and for the second value. The number of strings are constant. But for the values that are exceeding 2, it will have the number of strings which will be equal to the sum of the preceding 2. The same goes for the 8. It will be the sum of the preceding 2. The same goes for the 13. It will be the sum of the preceding 2. So that is what we have to do in this case, and that is what we are doing in this case. We are taking two variable name a and b. A will store the length of strings which we can form from n is equals to 1. B will store the number of strings which we can form from 2, and for the rest of the numbers, for 3, 4, these two variable for 5, then for 4 we just have to add the number of strings am I getting from n is equals to 3 and the number of strings am I getting from n is equals to 2. So same goes for 5. I'm just calculating the number of strings am I getting from n is equals to 4 and the number of strings am I getting from n is equals to 3. So simple funda is that for 5 or for any value, what I'm calculating is number of strings that I'm getting from n minus 1 value plus number of strings that I'm getting from n minus 2 value. That is the basic phenomenon that we are applying in this case. Okay guys, so I hope that I should be able to make you guys understand it, what it is this question is about. So now let's just move out to the solution. So see, as I already told you, what we need is two variables. As a is equals to 2, it just means that when the length of n which will be equal to 1, the number of strings that we are going to get are 2. Now if for n is equal for b is equals to 2, when n is equals to 2, the number of strings that we are going to get will be 3. Then from the preceding value of 2, all we have to do here, that is, here we are taking the index on the basis of 0 indexing. Okay, so from that value, from the number 2, we are just going to simply add the value of the preceding. Like for 3, we are simply going to add the value of 2 and 1. So these will be added here. For 4, we are simply going to add the values of 3 and 2, like here. For 5, we are simply going to add the value of 4 and 3. So that is what we are doing in this code. Like in the variable time, we are just storing the value for the current number and just then upgrading the values for a and b. Also, if initially for in this case a was 1 and b was 2, after I get 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my 3 as b and a as 2. So all thing that happened is a has moved come down to 2 and b has come down to 3. The same principle will be applied here, that b will come down to 4 and a will come down to 3 for the case of 5. So this will be our a and this will be our b. As you can see here, the A has come down and that is what we have depicted here. The B has come down and that is what we have depicted here. And the same philosophy, same principle will be applied for the future problems, future numbers. And then simply we are going to return A. And that would be our answer. So as you guys see, this code is working perfectly fine. That today we have solved both the GFG and Leetcode POTD. We hope that you guys also be able to do that. With that, over to you, Shivam.
So yeah guys, thanks for joining with us. So we'll catch you up tomorrow. Okay guys.